This episode of New Jersey Living, the podcast, I have a very special guest with me, my colleague, Kevin Collymore. He is an agent in the Montclair office of KW, so I'm excited to have him on today. You're about to hear some very great insights from him as we dive into some hot topics, and we're going to hit this. We're planning to do this monthly, so stay tuned for what we have coming up.
Be good.
Absolutely, talking New Jersey, obviously real estate, but we're going to cover a lot of ground here, even outside of real estate. All right, so welcome aboard again. Let's get this started now.
Let's do it.
Welcome to New Jersey Living, the podcast, where we explore all things New Jersey real estate. I'm your host, Corey Jones, a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. We're a team of experienced agents who specialize in residential sales in several counties ranging from Bergen County in northern New Jersey to Ocean County down the shore. On this podcast, we will talk to real estate experts, local business owners, community leaders, and town officials to get the inside scoop various towns in New Jersey. We'll discuss everything from the latest market trends to featured local attractions with dining, recreation, and entertainment. Whether you're a current resident, a prospective buyer, or just curious about New Jersey real estate, we have something for you. So sit back, relax, and join us for a conversation about all things New Jersey living. All right, New Jersey Living, the podcast is back coming to you. I'm Corey Jones, real estate agent at Coldwell Banker, team leader of the New Jersey Living Group, and obviously host of this podcast. So I have my colleague Kevin Collymore. I'm giving a little intro here. I'm gonna let him jump in to kind of give some background on yourself so that people can become bit more familiar with your face on this podcast.
No, of course, I appreciate the time, Corey. This is something that we can keep on doing, reoccurring. But again, Kevin Collymore, I'm licensed real estate agent as well as an investor. I do flips, buy and holds, but real estate is my passion. My Instagram handle is kcolly, also the Collymore Group, and I am a team lead of the Collymore Group within Keller Williams. I handle the whole state of New Jersey as well as some others as well. But just a little bit about me is I have a business background, degree in business. And I love sales, right? Like, I think that's why I've been able to, really from the first day I started real estate to being able to have traction and keep on going. I've been doing this for a little over 5 years now. I mean, I'm like, damn, I was like, shit, I should have did this before.
Yeah.
But just dealing with clients and just the nuances, like I enjoy every part of it, the good, the bad. And this is my passion for sure.
When you're in this and you love it, right?
Yep.
You have that passion for it. It's not a matter of motivation and drive because it's just like an internal clock, right? It keeps ticking,
Yes.
So yes, absolutely, man. So just grateful that we're able to come together and be able to really dive into some topics. So just to give everybody a little context here, Kevin and I, we try to keep this really organic and decide what we're going to talk on, where we're going to go with things.
No scripts,
right? So last night, I got a flash. I'm just on my phone, checking out some news, got my Apple News up, just scrolling through some things. And this headline comes up, and I had said, you know what? Let me send this to Kevin now. So I texted this article to Kevin, Business Insider. So this is not some, just run-of-the-mill publication out here. And here's the headline. You're going to see this. If you're watching on YouTube, as always, you're going to see more visuals. If you're listening on the podcast, just make sure you tune in to my YouTube channel, New Jersey Living, the new YouTube channel. So this says the real estate market is in for a sharp correction with losses that could take a decade to recover from, right? Strategists say. Mm-hmm. So this is like that clickbait, right? When you see that, it's like, okay, you know
what's
what?
Happening? Do I buy now? Oh my God, is it going to be
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that saying goes in real estate, everything is local.
Yes,
right.
100%.
Location. So this is where, and you know what, I'm gonna dive into my take on it. But Kev, share with me the same thing that you pretty much said last night when I sent it to you. Say, hey Kev, and I text you, take a look at this, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I just let you.
Well, first I was like, I can't open an article, no, but I'm just joking, but looking at that headline, I mean, like you said, clickbait, right? I mean, for us being in New Jersey, especially the part of New Jersey that we're in. The Essex County, pretty much anything from Bergen County, almost to Middlesex, but the entire state, it's high demand.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't really translate to us. I think it's a typical, and I hate to say it, but supply demand issue.
Yes.
I don't see, even if there is a slight correction, we have so much people looking to buy homes that, with the little inventory that we do have, these house prices are not going to go up. I can almost guarantee you that it will be going. I mean, it's not going to go down. I can almost guarantee that it will be going up. And that is just because of, our location, right? Us being in so close proximity to New York City.
Right.
And I mean, it's just what they pay for a 1-2 bedroom out there and what they can translate that into get here, a bigger house. I mean, it's just no way that we're going to be able to, we're going to be affected that way.
Right.
When I was looking at some other research, other markets are starting to see decreases and things like that. Maybe oversupply or even interest rates kind of affect them. But even with us being at a regular 7% on residential mortgage rates,
yes,
having the demand that we do have and the supply issues that we have, it's like that's not going to affect us, and that's going to be for years to come. Because it's when we had the recession, what was that, 08 or something like that? It's the new construction builders, they kind of pulled out. Now they're starting to ramp back up. But even if these guys start to build as fast as they can, it's going to be years before they build that. But the product that they're building is not really going to translate to what the need is, right? They're all building luxury rentals and, anything I would say almost sub 500, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like it's going to always be a high demand.
Correct. And that's a good point because when we're talking about the limited new construction that we have, right?
Yes.
Because the vast majority of new construction, and if you live in North Jersey, you already know this. Drive anywhere near a train station.
Yes.
And you know exactly what you are looking at if you live in North Jersey. It is a new construction project. Normally it is rental, a luxury rental at that, right?
100%.
So not even condo for purchase, but rental. So that is the overwhelming majority of new construction that we see. We don't see developments like you go to certain parts of the country and you see these communities being developed, and that's just not what you're going to find. The land area in New Jersey is just relatively limited when it comes to that. And even when you get further out, there are restrictions on how much you can develop land, when you get out into certain spaces, right?
Yeah.
So here it is really a matter of if you see new construction, it's because there was an empty lot or a tear down.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
Right, in the existing community. And those prices, and you can give your insights on this because you were mentioning Essex and Bergen. Definitely, I would venture to say those probably are the highest demand when we're talking about single family anyway, because Hudson is so much, condo and, things like that, right? At Brownstones or whatever. But when we're talking single family homes, I'd say Bergen and Essex are your highest demand counties in the state, right?
Yeah.
Can you even see anything new construction being under 700? And I'm being very kind with that, right? So imagine new construction, right?
It's really, you're 100% right. Like it's I'm not seeing it. I'm only seeing rentals. I mean, even my people that do want to sell, for example, it's they're gonna sell, capitalize and make their money. But it's like, okay, where do they go?
Where do you go?
So they're that's also affecting our inventory and supply issues that we do have. And I actually looked at a quick article today. Newark, which is right in Essex County,
right?
They're like number 2 in the entire country for the biggest increase for sales in the metro area.
Oh, really?
The number 1 was Anaheim, California. Then Newark, New Jersey
was number 2.
Yes.
Wow.
Right. And you have a lot of driving factors there because not only are they close to transportation, but the city did a lot to incentivize businesses to come in and jobs are being created and things like that. So I mean, you're getting cities like that that's right next to us. I mean, the demand is even more. Not only do you have the transportation, but these businesses, these corporations, like they're being incentivized to come into our areas and to build. And what are they building, right? Not really what the city needs. So they're trying to change some things and have more owner occupants versus investors and things like that.
Correct.
But,
Correct.
I don't see this changing anytime soon.
Yes. So, and here's the message, particularly for those buyers that are out there who are saying, I think I need to just wait for the right time, right?
Yeah.
And here's
you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do that.
So this is this a recent listing that I picked up, and this is in South Jersey. Okay, this is just outside of Toms River. Okay.
Yep.
So we were looking year to year over year. All right, and a community where you throw the name out, it wouldn't just around Toms River would, but this community wouldn't necessarily. All right, year over year, the increase of market value was about 10.25%.
Nice.
%.
Yeah, and that's not even surprising.
Year over year.
Yep.
Okay, now we're not talking like the hot spots necessarily, right?
So good.
So you imagine that if you're a buyer and right now you are buying and you're shopping, particularly those buyers who fall within that 400 to 600 range because there's so many of them.
Yes.
Right, in New Jersey, right?
Yes,
That's a huge amount, and you get a lot of competition in that price range. So you have to think like, okay, if your comfort buy is going to be about 5, maybe 525. You've got to think, all right, if I'm going to wait and I read an article like this, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, well, maybe something's going to happen. Maybe something's going to develop by next year, because you often hear too, where are rates going? Like, we don't have the crystal ball, but it's an election year and it tends to gravitate down, in an election year, which it has been. But you got to think, okay, is my salary going to change by 10% next year, right? For how many people are going to experience that, right?
Exactly. No, you're right too. I mean, and not only that is like, it's how many times have we heard people say like, yeah, let me wait for the right time. You can almost never time the market. What you can try to do is read it with the I guess the best information and knowledge that you can actually, kind of translate.
Right.
Because, all right, yeah, let's wait, right? How many other people think the same thing? If the rates do go down and you have, I don't know, thousands of buyers, you better believe that the other people that were a little bit, let's say they're approved at 450 or something like that, and we drop a point or two, their affordability is now around 500,000.
Correct.
Right. So that demand just increased, and guess what? Correct. It doesn't even matter. You still got the same issue.
Yes.
And the good thing is like, with us being that's why, agents like yourself and me, the fiduciary to our client is so important, and our knowledge and our skills, because we got to be able to guide them and coach them into making the right decision, because you say, yeah, go ahead, buy the home now, like depending on the motivation, like how bad do you need to get into a home, because they can always refinance the house, right?
Correct.
They're not married to that mortgage lender. They could go ahead and refinance 1,000 times what they wanted to.
Yes, right.
But get the asset, because, especially in our areas, New Jersey, the entire state, we don't see this thing dropping anytime soon.
No, and imagine something you invest in and a year from now is going to appreciate by 10%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Right,
and
that's a piece of.
I'm like looking at prices, and I'm like, holy, like it's the prices in New Jersey are so strong that when I'm trying to run, because how you run comps, it's like go back 6 months and say the right radius and things like that. But stuff is selling so quickly for such a high price that the MLS can't even keep up with what I need to price it at. I'm actually going to be going to Piscataway, after 3:00, and this person bought a home, and they paid 4 years ago, they paid $420 for this home, right?
4 years ago, so that would put us right around 2020, that beginning of COVID. Okay,
that house is worth now, and this is a good starting marketing price, $650.
I'm about to say $6 something,
$650,
right? Yeah,
and then I'm gonna expect to put it on $649, $650, and get $700 for that. Right. Like, look at that increase in equity and in value, and this stuff it's appraising and it's comping, and a year from now, the person that's buying it at $700,000 is going to be able to sell it for another $15,000 or more.
Yes.
Because the average that I'm seeing on the MLS, when you look at the list to sell price ratio, is between like the lowest I've seen was plus 4%, 6% to like 11, 12%.
Right.
And that's like a regular thing,
Yes.
So it's nuts, but it's good. It's a strong market. We just got to figure out how to, help the buyers that are like, okay, we got to get you into a house. Like let's lay everything out on the table, and not only, this is our price point, but like, what else can we do to win these offers?
And that's the important piece when it comes to buyers making that decision of, all right, you know what? And then when you really listen to counsel from your agent, which is important, and you understand, all right, look, I understand you read the Business Insider. I saw it too.
Yep.
All right, and I want you to drop into that Phoenix conversation too in just a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get them to understand that's not our market, and here is why.
Yes.
Because we are just in the direct shadow of New York City, right? So I consider a lot of these suburbs in New Jersey to be really New York City suburbs, right? So even my recent Montclair listing, I put this is in New York City, right?
Prime New York
City,
yes. Yeah, same.
You know what I mean? So
same.
Absolutely. So you have to bring them to that understanding. Look, they move here internationally. If they don't move here internationally, maybe they have been relocated here because there's so much corporate presence, not only in New York City, but even New Jersey. New Jersey has all these corporate campuses here, right?
Correct.
You think about like NBA, NFL, NHL, PGA, all of them, their studios are right here in New Jersey.
Yeah,
right.
Isn't Netflix going to be doing something?
Yeah,
in,
Netflix. Carteret.
Oh, Carteret.
I think it's Carteret.
And then the base that was in Monmouth County over there, the Army base, they're actually going to be making I don't know if it's Netflix, but they're going to be making another studio over there.
Oh, too. Really? No, I didn't hear about that.
I think what happened was the film industry incentivized filmmakers to come to New Jersey.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's taxes or whatever it is. So they're like, okay, let's put some money into New Jersey, and then that's crazy demand.
I know there's a development because of the mayor gave me a lot of his time in Carteret. Took me around in the SUV. Man, I felt like a celebrity.
Yes, right.
So we went all around the town. Right.
Our job is pretty we do some cool things.
It's cool,
I'm not gonna
man.
lie, we
It's
do some
cool.
cool things. Yeah.
So but he was showing me, what the film they're gonna have, like this film, studio there. It's just remarkable. But all that's to say is that there's so much draw.
We're getting hit from
Right?
so many people. Like, okay, this is your one asset, the house, and it's just like so many people trying to get this thing.
Yes.
Whereas other markets, it's just like maybe one or two. So, but yeah, like
Because you don't think of New Jersey necessarily real estate wise that this is an international market, but it is.
True.
All right. Because there are people who are coming here internationally and even nationally because of job relocation and what have you.
Yep.
And then we have our share of New York that starts to catch on. Like, wait a minute, I could own that, right? So I could, for the same price point, or I can sell this and even buy cash over here, right? I've owned this in Queens since, like, say, early 90s, and I can sell it at $2 million now.
And they're buying like multiple houses. Like the trend has changed. Before, like baby boomers, they would buy houses, live in it forever, and that's it. But now people buying 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. Airbnb-ing it, renting it out.
Absolutely.
So it's just a strain on the supply.
It is.
It is. You can't even,
And some may just, not even that they're selling necessarily, but some people, you think about it, if you're sitting on a home that you bought early 90s and you're in the city and it has that kind of equity, you may just say,
that's a bank right there for you.
I'm going to pull out $800,000 and just buy me something.
That's exactly it.
Right?
The mortgage low enough.
Absolutely.
The rate's great. You could HELOC whatever you want to do.
Correct.
Now you got your own bank, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be appreciating, and it's a win-win for them.
So so part of our job as realtors is to give counsel, and hopefully, your client is receptive to that counsel, right?
Correct.
And you explain, hey, look, I understand what Business Insider is saying, but this is the market that we're in, and this is what you have to do. And that's the next step is this is how you compete. Exactly. Because not everyone has the biggest budget in terms of qualification. Not everyone has the superior cash reserve, but it's those terms, is how you structure, is how you approach presenting that offer that says, hey, look, this is a buyer who is ready, motivated, and this is how we can make this transaction easy for you.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta win for our clients. If they're an FHA person, like I love FHA mortgages, like, but historically they got a little slapped around, discriminated against, but it's like, okay, this guy is approved or gal approved at $400,000. How do we get them to win? And it's not going to be that number because they're very limited on their finances. But the strength of us as agents and the relationships we have, as well as the structure and how we pretty much position the offer, for the other agent.
Correct.
Whether it's inspections, whether it's whatever it is, right? We got to figure out a way to win outside the box because people. That's not going to change. People always need housing.
Always.
And
always.
So we got to be able to advocate and win for our clients.
Absolutely. And a big part of that is how we paint that picture, when we're presenting that to that agent, right? Now, here's the part I was bringing up about Phoenix. So we were, again, Kevin and I were talking about this article. He mentioned something. I want you to just dive into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually listening to this yesterday, and it was really quick. I want to make sure I'm not going to have the exact percentages, but that article, it's funny because that's probably like a mixture of things. Looking at the entire country, all of the states.
Right.
But there are markets that are down. Where they do starting to have an oversupply, and Phoenix, Arizona is one of them. Where you're going to have the exact opposite of what you're seeing in New Jersey, and I don't know exactly what that is due to. If it's going to be new construction, is it going to be was it because of job transitions and things like that? Like for example, I know Intel, they're moving their HQ to from Anaheim to Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So now that's going to be something that me and investors are going to start to look at as an opportunity market.
Yes.
Because now they're going to start to have an influx of people and. Their infrastructure is good within the city, so it's like, okay, now they're going to have to build up, right? So other areas like the Phoenix, Arizona, it's like, oh man, they have housing, but like, do they have enough people to move into all of these houses?
Yes.
And that's what happened in 2008, where it's like, the people stopped building and they had so much inventory, and it's, it was a little bit of a mess. But it's every market is so different, like we're experts in our markets, and,
right?
Like I think we're a little bit blessed. It could be like a double-edged sword a little bit, but it's I think for the future, it's just we have to perform and win because this thing is very insulated. It's almost like a bubble. I don't know if I would say that, but it's just like we're gonna keep it going as long as we can. Correction. What kind of correction we're expecting? Like not much, if any at all, versus what some other people are seeing.
What others around the country.
Yeah,
I've heard in Texas similar, because there was a time in Texas that Texas had a significant influx that was coming from California, right? So right around that COVID time frame where we were getting the onslaught from New York, all right? So, so that is something that is very much regional, very much local. But I would say for those who are listening into this, or if you are watching, our market is extremely competitive, and we don't see a change in that coming. Even if rates were to drop, when rates drop, as Kevin mentioned, some people who were at 400 now going to find themselves at 5 or 550.
The affordability goes up,
right? And they reactivate, right? Some others that have been took a pause and stepped away because they were shopping when they were back about 3.5 to 4.5, and many mindsets at that time was like, hey, look, I am not going to participate in this, yes. Yeah. And so once the rates kept going higher and they didn't want to get into the frenzy, if you will, the bidding wars, rates got high and some people took a break. Like, hey, look, it's like 6.5, 7 now, 7.5.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Right.
Exactly.
And then the further it comes down, it'll change.
Yeah. And it's super serious people that, they have to move, like they're going to, it depends on the circumstance, whether it's a family change or a job transition, whatever it is. The serious buyers are going to always move into the homes. It could 12%, whatever the mortgage is, they got to move, right?
Yes.
So the other people where it's like, okay, I was thinking about it. Maybe I'll like they're going to still be on the fence a little bit.
Right.
Unless they're moving out of state or maybe.
And so exactly, and you know what? That's happens as well. I find that with a lot of my sellers, particularly, they're relocating, right? They're going down south. Same.
Right.
But if you are a buyer and you're reading content like this, definitely it's worthwhile having a conversation with a realtor if you already have one. Obviously, if you're watching me and you've been watching me, I do get some of these questions. Somebody will shout something on YouTube, right? Just to throw something out there, ask a question, right? So, reach out direct or reach out online. We're both on IG, Instagram as well.
Yep.
You can reach either one of us, but have a conversation and understand contextually, what does that look like for New Jersey? What does that mean for New Jersey? And if you are an owner and you're trying to assess, what are some of your options, right? So even if you own right now, because honestly, I'm at a place in part because my daughter is at a place of entering the real estate market as a buyer in probably another year.
Does she need an agent?
No, she's not. I've been pitching it. I've been pitching it. But she's not as open now. She's like, no, I'd just rather, not have to talk to people. Let me be on my computer.
Yeah.
But she's going to be a consumer pretty soon. And I'm telling her, hey, look, you want to think multifamily. And some people, either you're a first-time buyer or maybe you are currently an owner, but you're curious about how to capitalize. So I've got a buyer who came from New York, came over. She bought in Bayonne, and what's on her mindset right now is how can I leverage some of my equity now to get into a multifamily?
I love those type of,
because you see what's happening in the market and you see where the market is going. So even if you are so that's to say, like, you own a home right now, you've owned for a few years, or you just find yourself with a good amount of equity, it is worth considering how can I invest this to acquire another asset? Because that's just what it is.
Absolutely.
It's an appreciating asset, and we're talking, and I give a conservative number. I'm like, look, let's think conservatively, 7-8% year over year. That is super conservative, okay?
I think so.
But 7-8% year over year is what you're looking at in terms of the market value of it.
That's a solid number, yeah.
Absolutely. So that's what, should be part of that process of anyone thinking, whether you are a homeowner, not in the market to buy a new home to move to, but just what can I do given that I'm in this region that has such high demand for real estate?
Exactly. You got to leverage your assets. I mean, I love, I was just talking to a client. It's funny now, actually, I sold this couple. They were actually my first buyers I put into a home. Like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
In Bloomfield. And now he's an agent, but it's the same thing. It's like I'm having them almost like switch their mindset. Like, they have the family and everything, but now they have a few $100,000s of equity in this house that's just sitting there. I'm like, okay, if you're not going to be using this, possibly think of another type of asset to get, right? It's maybe a rental property, or maybe you rent out what you have now and then get into something a little bit bigger, or like they can play. Like, who else? Where else are you going to be able to get $200,000-300,000 in a couple of years?
Yes, correct.
Like the biggest transfer of wealth is real estate.
Absolutely.
So I think it's the education part, as to what you said before, because there's so much things you can really do.
Yes.
With owning.
Absolutely. So Look, we're going to be coming back again in August, right? We're going to have another date. We're going to, and we're going to hit a whole lot of different topics. I want to hit some talk about venues, right? Because Jersey has so many different entertainment venues.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start.
Oh my gosh, right? So like we want to hit, and that's what I mean by we're going to hit different topics. We're going to obviously we're going to sprinkle in some real estate because that's what we do when we talk every day. But
yeah, exactly.
We're going to really hit on all things New Jersey to give people a taste, whether you're not from here or like a lot of my YouTube followers, you are in another state right now, but you like watching my content just because I covered your hometown at some point, right? Or cover something that they remember or reminisce with, and you want to just come back and throw in some content of your own or some experiences of your own. So we're going to be back in another month. So thank you for tuning in. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and notification bell if you are watching on YouTube. Definitely give a rating here on the podcast platforms as well. We're trying to really get this out there so that other people can listen in on this content to give some type of valuable insight on living in New Jersey. So, Kev, thanks again for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to doing this monthly.
Absolutely.
This is a lot of fun.
It is enjoyable. Absolutely. So, everybody stay safe, like I always say, and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.
Thank you.